new adventure, a short tale with some art to go along with it. I hope you enjoy. Today's tale is one of my classics of an old friend, Fibbeus the hyena. Let's begin to see the encounter now. Riding down to the little village of the kingdom, there sat the gateway, reading the entrance sign to the place. Willow and her lover, Louisa, stood there ready to enter to buy their daily morning loaf of fresh, seedy bread for breakfast. They could smell it already after walking the hills down to the village. The cobblestones, bleeding with moss and ivy, slowly thickened into a clean road which wove in between shops and houses, which were flaunting their gardens of flowers outside every window. Willow and Louisa walked into the township, surrounded by crowds of people, creatures, and fantasy characters. They laughed, spoke, children played tag, bumping into everyone, and in the distance was the baker's shop. One kind-looking baker stood behind a table of bread, all different shapes and sizes. He was a bear and wore a baker's apron and smiled with his furry paws on his hips, excited to sell his new creations. Willow all of a sudden saw a hyena in a green tunic reach for some bread to taste, as the baker has free samples usually, and he suddenly batted the hyena's hand away and said something which made the creature walk away. Willow looked up at Louisa and asked him, "Why did the baker just snap at the young hyena? He didn't do anything wrong," she exclaimed. Willow became uncomfortable still, until they approached the delicious-smelling bread. Louisa ordered a freshly buttered loaf, and it came out soft and fluffy, seeded with rye and sesame and baked with onion and garlic. The perfect smell to make anyone hungry. Willow was excited but couldn't stop thinking about that poor hyena. She took a small bag of the fresh free samples which he had reached for, and held on to it just in case for him. They were free, and they smelled delicious. Walking on their way out, she walked past a large barrel in the dark of the alley. She gasped, and turned around to see the same hyena sitting sadly next to it. He fiddled with a few coins, and got angry, scattering them in every which direction. They rolled out of sight, while most fell down the storm drain. He wept. Willow ran over swiftly. "Sir, are you all right?" she said. The hyena jumped back and stared her with his golden eyes in shock. "White hair, feathery wings? It can't be! You're the princess! I did something bad, right? Please don't say I did. I swear. I am just Fibbeus, a fibber. It is in my name. I think you should leave me now. Nobody here likes me," he said, worrisome. Willow took his paw and helped him up, but noticed he hobbled on one leg. "Fibbeus, it's a nice name. I don't think of fibbing when I hear it. Don't you worry. It's a kind name. It's very unique. Now, you are in a rough place. Just look at you," she called out. His tunic was torn, and he had tomato splatter all over it from mocking townsfolk. She could tell he was an obvious outcast, and was shunned. That was most likely why the baker denied him free goodies. She spoke. "You look like you could use something," she said. Before she could hand over to him the free bread samples that she had picked up from the baker, she got him. A small cat ran up to him and stomped on his foot, making him yelp. "Youch!" The cat laughed and chanted, "Ha! I saved the princess from the nasty, wasty meanie." He ran off with his other kid friends, and Willow snapped. "Hey, you! You are not to treat anybody that way. You hear me? Now scram!" The kid nodded in shock and ran away to the crowds. She looked at Fibbeus sympathetically. You need this more than any of them, I think." She handed the baggie of fresh breads to Fib, and he took it and just stared. "Are you okay, sir?" she asked. The hyena gulped and held in tears. This is the nicest thing anyone's ever done. Thank you, princess," he said. Willow knew that she had done something that she was proud of. Maybe she'll run into him again in the future. Maybe soon. The end.